Chakula Afya Kituyo. Kuacha mocha duka yako kwa ajili ya ufumbuzi yako yote ya afya, kwa sababu wote wako marumu afya mahitaji: shinikizo la damu, high cholesterol, kupoteza uzito, ugonjwa wa kisukari na kwa erection. Sisi ndio wenye nguvu Blue Express na Nyekundu Express capsules. Uhakika yapatia kila mwanaume muda kudumu election na moja saa ya kutumia product yetu. Kapiso hizi kuongeza furaha ya kijinjisha kwa wewe na mpenzi wako, kutoa roko ngumu erection, lerif kutoka kumwaga mapema. Wito sasa kwa utaratibu 0203899287 au 0793055740. Sisi tuko katika 11 Warren Street, London, W1T 5LG.
Welcome, my dear viewers, to another program of the Uganda Vision. And I am Nino Mugisha, your presenter today. It's unbelievable how fast the week has flown. Work, college, school. It is always the same thing. Come home, turn on the TV, always the craziness going on in this world. But we at Uganda Vision are here to give you so much information. Everything is positive and music to unwind. So first up, we have something very special for you all. A beautiful song to welcome you all in the new year by Brother T. Enjoy. Happy New Year. Omwaka guno gutuberere mirembe. Nangirira omwaka gwa Mukama. Omutali kusirana wa mwapejoba. Webale kundabirira omponyeza bingi odunda tonganyiza kuzikirira kuno mwaka nakwamulabye naye bingi binnemye okumaliriza papa. Almighty God, my Father, I call upon your name in this year. Sabye Mukama onyambe onkyusiza obulamu kuno mwaka bakudala neyongerayo kuli eddaala eddene amaziga genkabye gakume ebizibu byenfunye bigende obwavu obunumye bugende n'amabanja genfunidde mugamala okunyomanyomwa okusiraana byonna bikome mu guli omukadde. This year, Happy New Year. Omwaka guno gutuberere mirembe. Nangirira omwaka gwa Mukama omutali kusiraana wamu n'okujogwa. Happy New Year. Omwaka guno gutuberere mirembe. Nangirira omwaka gwa Mukama omutali kusiraana wamu n'okujogwa. Tinkulopera ebyoyoyo ebibi ebituzingako Mukama. Kuno mwaka omwoyo w'ekifiiriza afe. Emyoyo gy'obwavu gife. Emyoyo gy'ekidiibo fa. Ne baana badibye nabo bafumbirwe. Disya omwoyo w'okugobebwa afe. Omwoyo w'obupangisa afe. Omwoyo ajjamu embuto afe. N'abagumba ku luno nabo bazaale. Omwoyo wa kisidenti fa. N'omwoyo wa siriimu afe. Kansa n'ebirwadde bya kuno bife. Ebituga abantu baffe. Guno mwaka omwoyo w'okuzingama afe. Promotion zeeyongere ku mirimu. Omwoyo w'amabanja afe. N'omwoyo w'obutasasulwa fa. Omwaka guno omwoyo w'okuzunga afe. Tufune we tuwummulira wakiri. Omwoyo w'obutasiimwa fa. Bakama baffe basiimeko bye tukola. Omwoyo w'okusibirwa afe. Ebisangosanga ebijoteka ebife. Disya omwoyo w'okunyagibwa afe. Ababbi tetubagala mu guno gujja.
omwoyo w'obusamiza ffe katonda waffe gwe tusinza wenka erewe penyuya omwaka guno gutubeerera emirembe nangirira omwaka gwa mukama omutali kusiraana wamu n'okujooga penyuya omwaka guno gutubeerera emirembe nangirira omwaka gwa mukama omutali kusiraana wamu n'okujoogwa. Kati ngambira tata, ngambira mama, n'omwaka gwa ssanyu, ngambira emikwano, ngambira omwaka lwoli, tiguno omwaka gwa ssanyu, penyuya, omwaka guno gutubeerera emirembe, nangirira omwaka gwa mukama, omutali kusiraana wamu n'okujoogwa, penyuya, omwaka guno.
That was the right song to start off this year, a song of hope. For those of us who didn't get it to our goals last year, this year it shall be well with all of us. Next up, something very special too, for those of you who didn't go to the Uganda convention last year. This here is a keynote speech by Dr. Sebbowa, the CEO of the Uganda Investment Authority.
Now, we hope you're going to be inspired by the talks you're going to hear this day. Inspired enough to put your money in investing. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have someone who is responding, I guess, to the question, is it time for Uganda? That is a question. His Excellency, the Vice President, told us about some of the ambitious plans to take Uganda economically, socially to the next stage. And I guess some of what you're going to be hearing now from the gentleman who's coming will touch on that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you've been very well so far in making those hands tingle by applauding loudly. Could I ask you to applaud once again Engineer Dr. Frank B. Sebbowa, Executive Director of the Uganda Investment Authority.
Your Excellency, Edward Twankasekandi, Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, ministers here present from the government of the Republic of Uganda, lords, members of parliament, ambassadors, and captains of business here present. I'm pleased to be talking to you today. But unfortunately, or very fortunately for me, I'm a Roman Catholic. I start by confessing so that I own up my sins publicly. First and foremost, I know a bit of Sierra Leone, so when I went there, we exchanged notes with the other Sierra Leonean. I'm a product of Frabe College in a Freetown, Sierra Leone. The second confession is that all these people you saw here, including the Vice President, are doing my job because I'm the only one paid to do what they are doing, and I'm grateful to them. Here we are to talk about investment opportunities in Uganda, and I talk about the investment climate and opportunities as well. That's how I talk to you. I hope it is, yes, it is coming. I give some introduction about Africa is rising, and then I answer the question why you should consider investing in Africa and Uganda in particular. I follow that by the investment opportunities in Uganda. Investment incentives are available as of 1st July 2014. I know there have been some unquiet about the tax incentives, but I know they are there and you will see them. And then what we do if you are to come, what do we offer to the investors? And perhaps I conclude, time allowing. It is time for Africa. If you look at that map, you will see that if you put the United States, Argentina, New Zealand, India, China, Europe, including England, on the map of Africa, there is still plenty of land left in Africa, which means we are there. If you look at the population of Africa, 863 million, we are only beaten by China and India as a trading bloc. However, I will not invite you to the whole of Africa. I'm inviting you to Uganda. And here is the reason why. Uganda is one of the very few places that are well land linked to markets. For those of you in business, markets is the word. If you look at Uganda, it is surrounded by markets, huge markets. If you look, Uganda, we are 36 million, they say. In East Africa, you have 145 million. The Great region is 300 million. By the time you got to Comesa and so on, 400 million. And we have signed the protocols with various other communities. AGOA with the US, and preferential treatment here. In China, we can do all sorts of things. EU, we can export anything, except arms, of course. So, as you can see, the market is large. I always say this, and I don't want to offend any ambassadors here or other people, that if you look at our friends in Kenya, on the other side they have crocodiles. For us, we are surrounded by consumers. Why should you consider investing in Uganda? We do have the best infrastructure. Transport, roads, rail, and air freight are all operational. Utilities, we have energy. So many of you are aware that we are trying to beat even the electricity shortage through Karuma projects and several other projects. eSIM, I think, might even come ahead of Karuma and so on. Telecoms, we have several mobile companies offering the best of the best. We have land, it's available and affordable. Political stability, somebody this morning asked me. We are stable, and we've held these democratic elections since 1986, regularly, clockwork, people voting and deciding what they want. We have economic stability. Inflation average is about 6%, as the Vice President said. For the past 10 years, that's not a mean achievement. Even when there were crises in the world, we went up a bit, but when you take out the average, 6% as inflation is not bad. The policy framework, we have laws that govern investment and protect investment, and the regulatory framework is in place. The financial framework is good. This is one of the few countries that I know, and I was telling this to some Chinese earlier this week. They didn't believe me. I said, if you took $1 million to Uganda to invest, and after a week you decided that it's not the right place for you to invest, you would take your $1 million without ever going to any authority. It's between you and the bank. And your bank, actually, not the bank, but your bank of choice. They couldn't believe that. We have more than 20 commercial banks in the country, operational, and a serious regulator as well. But the icing on the cake are the people and the weather. We have a very sociable people, and as I say, and I will always say, in Uganda it is permanent spring. I know here, even if summer becomes winter sometimes, but in Uganda we have this permanent spring. What are the investment opportunities? Some of you are interested in greenfield, others in brownfield, some want pure private proprietorship, then others want joint ventures, and others want acquisition. All these are available in my beautiful country called Uganda. I show you. Coffee, everybody knows that our coffee, by the way, our Robusta coffee, for those who make a coffee, this Nescafe, Nestle, and so on, they use it to blend their coffee. But now, we also have reached a stage where the leadership, Vice President and the President, are saying, we don't want to export our raw coffee Now we want people to come and invest in the plants that will turn our coffee into good coffee. Lord Popat, you will pardon me, but for you, Uganda, and anyone at heart. For a long time, we have been donating to this country. I didn't know until the president explained it to me. He said, a kilo of coffee, we sell it to this other part of the world at about $1.4, $1.5, $1.5 if you want. And when it's processed in these other places, its value now becomes like $15. He says if you take away the processing and transportation, let's say $5, and what you bought it $1.5, you are still donating $8.5 per kilo of coffee to this other part of the world. Now that must stop, unfortunately, Lord Popat. Pineapples. I talk about pineapples with passion. I went to Japan. There is a place there, one place in Tokyo. Somebody has found out drying our pineapples using solar energy and sell them. They sell 100 grams. So I said, fine, I'm going to test these things out. So after buying one, I said, can I have another? He said, no, it is rationed and there is a long line. You can't buy 200 grams of our pineapples in a go. They are so sweet. They are so sweet. I don't know why we don't find them here. Groundnuts, passion fruits, oranges, all those are things that we can grow at home, along with many others. But as the president says, but as the VP says, the prime minister and so on, and the ministers, we want you to process so that you bring finished product. This donation to the Europeans must stop at some stage. Livestock, commercial farming, we still have a lot of land. Processing livestock products, abattoirs or slaughterhouse facilities. Unfortunately, in spite of, you know that Uncle Cow has the best beef, but because we don't process it properly, sometimes it's kept out of some markets because of standards. I want to talk to somebody who wants to do an abattoir in our country. It's important because that will open the road to European markets, American markets, and so on. Fisheries and others. We have several things that you can do in agriculture. That takes me to tourism, giving you the opportunities, accommodation, conference facilities, training for our operators. The people who operate tourism, and I think the gentleman from UTP will probably talk to you a bit more on tourism. They are not trained at all. If you want to run a first-class hotel in Kampala, believe you me, you will have to import some Kenyans who are trained in Utali. Why can't we do ours? Why can't you go and invest in training these people? It's one of the cheapest things you could do. Tourism development sites and water sports. I had a slide showing the replacement of Bujagali, this whitewater rafting down in Karagara. That's something you could invest in and make a fortune. As we talk now, some other strangers are making a fortune. Why aren't you, dear Ugandan? Why aren't you, friend of Uganda? Energy. When I talk about energy personally, I start with the energy the majority of Ugandans use, charcoal. Turn it to briquettes, get those energy-saving stoves. To me, that's the energy. The other day I was with PS Fred Kalisa. For him, when he talks about energy, he starts with the hydropower something. Yes, that's good. But the market at home, even for these charcoal briquettes, is huge. Solar power, methane gas from animal waste, and manufacture of electrical and electronic equipment. Services, education, ICT, health, and the modern health facilities that we require. These all present to you opportunities for investing. Mining. Uganda offers a variety of opportunities. You have dimension stones, marble, granite, you have phosphates, fortunately some. The reason I talk passionately to you in this audience is because the Chinese have come a big way at home. In fact, I don't have to beg the Chinese to come. They come following us. But we need a balanced thing. I know that the Chinese are investing, I think, $600 million in a phosphate plant someplace in Uganda. But there is phosphates everywhere. And phosphates serve many purposes, including being fertilizers for our agriculture. Gold, everybody knows Karamoja and gold. The recent surveys have shown, by the way, that the largest stock of our gold is in a place in Busoga. In northern Busoga, that's where we have, and nobody has gone there. There is also another one in Uganda. There, my former chairman has already seen the light. He's already working on there. Iron, container glass, special minerals, oil and gas. There are many of you who are keen on oil and gas. Not for me though, because 30, 40 years, there might be no oil and gas. But we must all, as Ugandans, we have to thank our government. They made a wise decision. Okay, this oil and gas will be finished quickly. But can we, in the meanwhile, can we refine it at home so that we extract as much as possible out of this oil? So the story of the oil refinery, which has other subsidiary industries that are waiting for you to take on. Opportunities in real estate. We need about 6.4 million units. This was 2012. There's existing housing stock, 5.7. So we had a shortfall of 0.7 million. I'm not even talking about commercial buildings. And I talk about commercial buildings, maybe I better do it now. Our country has moved from the day when we used to save our dollars in a foreign account, maybe in the UK, to the time when we started building residential houses for rent at home, to the present stage where we are building shopping malls. We should go into manufacturing. Why? Because the shopping malls, they are good. They've served the purpose. But if you build more than 3 floors, 4th up to the 10th or 20th floor will be empty. That's why I'm saying, please move over. Manufacturing is the way to go. But that takes me back to housing. Housing especially for middle and lower income occupants. There is nothing. All the people, including my big brother BMK or Nze and so on, all of them are looking after their own kind. The middle and rich, they're building for these people. I want to appeal to them here publicly. Also build for those people we see in the slums. They need these houses. Now, in Uganda, opportunities are for a wide range of players. Contractors, property developers, business park operators, companies as investors or to establish operations, financial investors, providers of public relations and so on, providers of renewable energy and sustainable ecosystem management solutions. All those are opportunities. I think this slide, there are many of you who have been waiting for it. Incentives. The very first lady I dealt with at the store there said, what are the incentives? Why should I come? There are many incentives, far more than you see here. The first are your tax exempt all exports except raw hides and skins. Whatever you export, tax exempt all imports of health, renewable energy, mining, oil and gas equipment. Withholding tax exemption on plant and machinery, scholastic materials, human and animal drugs, as well as raw materials. Scientific research expenditure. mineral exploration expenditure, computers and data handling equipment, we are now at 40%. We want to encourage you to come and manufacture there. Somebody said, but it used to be 100%. I said, yes, that was a tax holiday. But as everybody knows, we go on holiday and eventually come home to the realities of the day. Railway, locomotives and water transport, 20%. Initial allowance on industrial buildings, 20%. I think all these are good. And these are all managed by competent authority, the Uganda Revenue Authority, and this as per the budget that is being debated now in Parliament. There is nothing to worry about. The things that we thought they had moved, which are agitating several of Mr. Ansei's members, are covered under different arrangement. In the East African Protocol, anything that is tax exempt, and most of those things are tax exempt, is automatically tax exempt in our own country. Therefore, most of those things are still as they were. Because I was challenging people in finance, you must be crazy. How can you remove even the 60%? They said, no, you go to the East African Protocol on trade, and you will see that those are covered. How do we support you when you come to Uganda? We provide information on investment opportunities, and the store there managed by the other young engineer in my home and the other lady. We have CDs which give most of the information. We have books which give most of the information. But if all that fails, you go to the website address I give at the bottom of this presentation. We also issue investment licenses. Somebody has asked me, what are those animals? These are the things which give you priority over any other investor, if you are Ugandan, when you find yourself with a bottleneck. And bottlenecks are there in every country, including here. Now, but for a foreigner, the law says that you must have an investment license. We assist in securing secondary approvals. We assist in finding joint venture partners. And we have a one-stop center. In the one-stop center, under URSB, or Uganda Registration Services Bureau, we help you to license, to register your company. URA, of course, that's the tax identification number, and to guide you on how to avoid paying unnecessary tax. And these are done by officers from those entities who are seated in our office. Uganda Immigration Board, we provide you with work permits for both directors and your workers and for expatriates. This we found necessary. You could go to the immigration office, but then you will be lining up with people looking for passports, looking for their lost whatnot. So we brought them to ourselves, and you sit in there, and you will be dealt with as an investor. We have NEMA in our offices, and we have the Ministry of Land has an officer attached to us. All this to make sure that you, the investor, when you come, under one roof, smaller than this one looks too large. Ours is a much smaller roof. You can get all these services in one place. You don't have to go running up and down. I know we've not yet reached where we want to go. And indeed, the president directed, I think some of you were here in the diaspora evening he had with you in May. He has directed, and he's a man of his word. He has also provided the money that all the things I'm talking about, you can be doing online by the end of this year. We are in the process of implementing an online one-stop center for investors at Uganda Investment Authority. And the process has started, the money is there, some of it has been released. If I don't deliver, as he said, he will throw me out of a job. And I have my job, I will try to deliver. We handhold investors through business bureaucratic bottlenecks. This is a reality. We provide service land and all linked land owners. We have land, government has put aside acres and acres of this land across the whole country. We call these industrial parks. where we can give you land, provided you are in one of the 4 sectors: agribusiness, tourism, ICT, or mineral beneficiation. For the simple people like myself, mineral beneficiation means when you mine, we want you to distill it a bit so that you add value. Again, Lord Popat, I'm going to say the same thing. We don't want to donate to other people. We want to export our minerals having added some value. And then we guide SMEs, and I'm glad now we share this. We guide SMEs to partner with multinationals. We grow them, we train them to become businesses, and then we link them to other multinationals. I'm proud of a very small farmers group we formed in Hoima. They were struggling selling cabbages on the market. We said, look, if only you removed the soil, you really wrapped this thing in a cell-phone piece of paper, Taro would buy them. They said, Taro oil? No, those people are for oil. We said they would. Let's teach you how. After about 2 months, Taro now buys all their cabbages, their Irish potatoes, their whatever vegetables from these people. And they're getting a lot of money. And sometimes this is when I tell my people, forget oil as Taro or as Total or as Sinok. Think of oil in terms of the little services you can get in and get your money. I want to address the Ugandans here. When this oil field gets going, there will be 30,000 vehicles moving daily on a small area. Can you imagine? If only you started a business to wash cars, just wash cars, even if only 10,000 of those cars are washed every day, and you charge maybe the equivalent of £1, how much money you would make in a day? So why go and battle these Sinoks and so leave the road poppers to deal with the Sinok and so on, because they have the muscle. For you don't have the muscle, deal with the things you can do. I've told the others, do you know those people wear overalls? And the Taro is not in the business, or Sinok, in the business of washing overalls. What if you set up a business to just wash those things? You as a Ugandan, how much money would you make? Even if you charged maybe £2 to wash each. Well, that's another opportunity. And that's why, those are the sort of things we are telling SMEs. Please leave Sinok alone, leave these big giants, let them do their thing. You go where you can to support them, and they'll be happy. And they are happy, just like the Taro is happy to buy those Hoima cabbages. They used to import them, I think, from South Africa. Now, Ugandan business. We make policy recommendations to government. Now, this is an item many people, when you say that, they say, who are you? Government listens to UIA sometimes. I want to leave you with, no, not yet, but I want to tell you, the Ministry of ICT was a result of advice that came out of UIA. The Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities was a result of the same thing. How do we do it? The President, in his wisdom, has set up a presidential investors round table, which he chairs himself. And we, UIA, have been tasked to put together good businessmen who can advise the President through this period. And through that arrangement, that's how the President said, these people are making sense, let's do something about it. We have some ready to go. We have some ready to go projects which we've prepared, and we hope that you will take an interest. They are in agriculture and agro-processing, infrastructure, roads, city bus, transit, waterways, mining, energy and oil and gas, tourism, ICT, real estate. We have a website that I want you to keep in mind. It's www.gais.go.ug. gais.go.ug. On there, we have 21 projects, one pager. At the top, we give you the project definition, we define it, we give you a name and an email address of the person who has a more detailed information. Then we tell you whether it's PPP, whether it's a public project, whether it's private. Then we tell you whether it's greenfield, brownfield, or an acquisition. We even tell you how much money the people who have looked at it think you will need over the next 3 years. And we've given specifically the socio-economic benefits of this project. I appeal to you to go to that site. Why should we invest in Uganda? We have a predictable investment environment. We have a fully liberalized economy with protection. We are one of the few countries with a commercial court which deals with investments and trade issues. We are central to a large market. You remember the yellow thing in Africa? We are central to a very large market. We have a younger, trainable labor force. I think more than 50% of our population are young, and many of those who are young have been trained in various universities and so on. They are there waiting to be converted into active producers. Once again, this one I can't miss. We have a friendly people, Ugandans. The Ugandans who left you home are a very friendly people. And the other reason why Ugandans must invest in Uganda, it is your home. You see, like one lord who says that he came with 10 pounds, he has now slightly more, I don't know by how much, in his pocket. But he too is already looking back to Uganda. Uganda has this disease. It doesn't leave your heart. It sticks in there. And the spring or the year is something you don't want to miss on.
If you've just tuned in, this is Uganda Vision on Ben TV, Sky Channel 182. We're on Sundays from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Mondays from 10:30 to 11:30 p.m. Now it's time to turn up the volume, turn it up really loud. Get on your feet because it's beautiful music from Uganda. Let's go.
Nsulawo kumachane mutuminga ndoza kwe olusi ndowooza mukwano watondebwa bawange tetuyisemu naawe bibadde bingi ne tubiwangula abogedde baby bogedde bingi otabawulira kati kagube muyaga oba enkuba zifuddeyo eno gye ndikulinze njagala kubeerawo naawe njagala kusulawo kumpi naawe baby njagala kutulawo wesitulaga lubeerera nze gonfunye baby webale nti oli muwanguzi ani ndi mukaka musiyobayoba newenyiga baby nkaba bukabi tokkirizanga ebigambo by'abantu bitutabule tobawulirizanga bamidomo midomo baby batutabule nze ndi wagonjebwa sirwanalwana kati kagube muyaga oba enkuba zifuddeyo eno gye ndikulinze njagala kubeerawo naawe njagala kusulawo kumpi naawe baby njagala kutulawo wesitulaga lubeerera byogere engalo n'oyanjala muno linze kyakulya ngendo bano bwe bakola ne bafuna mu mirimu gyogaya labira ku kinyonyi bwe kizimba ekisu kyakyo byogere emirimu gy'abantu n'ogisonga mwenu enkusasire labira ku kinyonyi birungi ennyonyi esumba obonde olw'obifuna bwe kikola ekisu kyakyo kiba kisaganda kamukama kasubi kakola ekisuso labira ku kinyonyi nawe labira labira ku kinyonyi kubona amaso byekomanye bisule mu kinyi ekiwanvu bikumatiza nti gwasinga kati emirimu gy'abalalu gidisinga n'opimapimanga b'oguredinga sikyabasoma ogenda wewaanawaana nga bwe wasoma abantu banyumiza diguri bandaba batya olugi lwa takisi nga nekana yeera mpulirwa ntya muwino 10 mbumulonde obuyimba bwa bandi bwe bubowa twagala zirikira size zinyuma ku malala kwosiza okwimanya oli akusinga bweri oddogo naye kiki emirimu gy'abantu n'egisonga mwenu enkusasire labira ku kinyonyi birungi ennyonyi esumba obonde olw'obifuna bwe kikola ekisu kyakyo kiba kisaganda kamukama kasubi kakola ekisuso labira ku kinyonyi nawe labira labira ku kinyonyi tuli bavume empisa n'obugongo mbakira kolevo kyokanga nkola nnyo batulutulwa enkumbi nenjebagika soyomo bwayaya obw'amazzi ku kyalo kwotadde ne posinga emyaka nakusinisa manyo n'oguma emakungula gano gendiko benina ne byendi ntoyo zange mukama gabumbukisa naye kusasite teri mbindi kwata nkumi elime jina mikono gyewange kamatama kuba mutwe na mutima go yokere emirimu gy'abantu n'ebisonga mwembe nkusasire labira ku kinyonyi birungi ennyonyi esumba obonde olw'obifuna bwe kikola ekisusu kiba kisaganda kamukama kasubi kakola ekisuso labira ku kinyonyi nawe labira labira ku kinyonyi bwe kikola ekyeso mpolampola labira ku kinyonyi mukama webiba bukwate mpola okukuba mukanda nanti bye basoma si bye bakola labira ku kinyonyi kulinnya bakulisooka mpolampola labira ku kinyonyi.
Hello, my name is Joy. I'm back here to talk about immigration and the changes that have taken place since I was last year. There are so many changes that came in place in November 2014, which affect people who are making applications and those who have already submitted applications to the Home Office. And it's very important that you understand how these changes affect you. Now, starting with family, especially to do with children. The last time I told you that if you have a child who is a British citizen, there are 2 ways of making an application to remain here as their parent. Now, the other application is under European law. We call it the Zambrano way. Now, if you can prove that you're the primary carer of this British child, such that if they were to remove you, you would have to go with the child, then the law says they should give you 5 years derivative residence card if you can prove that you're the primary carer. Now, the recent changes show that actually they are refusing almost all the applications, but the good news is that the courts are allowing it. We believe the Home Office have the view that you should go and pay the fee, which is of course £601, which is quite a lot expensive. Now, if you don't want to make that application, then you can make one under the UK law as a carer of a British child still, or if you have contact with the child, especially for the fathers. Now, if you make that application under the UK law, they give you 2.5 years. You are not going to be allowed to have recourse to public funds, but you will have to renew your visa every 2.5 years until when you complete 10 years in the UK, in which case you get settlement. Now, if they refuse your application under Zambrano, under European law, saying, I'm the primary care of this child, if you remove me, you will have to remove the child as well. They give you 5 years, you can't get any benefits. At the end of the day, you can't even get permanent residence. You will have to get another 5 years and another 5 years. And as it stands now, we don't know when they will start giving those people, permanent residence. Now, the benefit of the other one under the UK law is that we can apply to the Home Office and they change the conditions attached to your visa. If you're the one who's looking after the child and you're becoming homeless, we do those things and the Home Office can change the conditions so you can have like some housing benefits or some kind of support under, the benefit system. Now, for those of you who have criminal records, it's going to be so difficult for you to get a visa because even when they refuse the application, if you have had a sentence of like 12 months, you may not even be allowed to appeal when you are here. What this government has decided is that you first leave, then you appeal that way. You are not congesting the court system here and you're not spending the money on you while you appeal. So the government has decided you will have to go. You appeal while you are in your country. And we all know that when you're talking about human rights, it doesn't make sense if they have already separated you from your wife and children, for example. So you will need to seek advice because there are also ways of fighting deportation while the person is still here, especially if your family values you so much or because of the role you play in your family. Now, again, I told you last time that they no longer give appeal, to those guys who want to come and visit their families here. But again, we can appeal under human rights. You will need a lawyer to make that application or to lodge the appeal because they will tell you your right to appeal is limited. I also told you last time that if you want to make an application to the Home Office because you are married or because you have a partner here, it's very important to gather enough evidence to show that your marriage is subsisting if you're not married. And if you have been in a durable relationship, the Home Office believe that you have to complete 24 months before they can believe that a relationship is durable. I always tell people, please get letters going to the same address. Even if it is junk, get it going to the same address. What they want is proof that you guys are living at the same address. That is going to help. In order to appeal, most of the time you're going to be required to appeal after you've left the country. So it's very important that you involve a lawyer at every stage of your applications before you think even about appealing. Because if we make the applications to the Home Office, you're able to let them know from the beginning, this is a human rights application. Now, I was telling you about the new changes that came into place in November. It's going to affect almost all people who have claimed asylum in this country. Because if you enter the UK illegally, if you have overstayed your visa and maybe they got you working illegally, even if you get indefinite leave to remain, you will have to complete 10 years from the time when you made the application that gave you status that you're going to consider to naturalize. You have to complete 10 years before because they are using it against your good character. So please, before you naturalize, it's no longer as easy as it used to be. Go to a lawyer, they will try to check for you because the money is too much that you're going to spend and it's not refundable. So don't rush to make an application if you have claimed asylum in the UK, if you have overstayed your visa, if you have been caught working illegally. Now, I told you again about asylum. It's always important to prepare your documents before you think about claiming asylum because at the moment they're putting all asylum seekers under fast track unless there are some circumstances. They really have to be exceptional circumstances for them not to detain you under fast track. So get all your paperwork together with a lawyer such that if you go in under fast track, everything is ready and then you have a better chance of being more organized, and of course it always helps your case. Then the other thing is that when of course you are detained, there is the issue of bail. You can only make a bail in 28 days. If that bail is refused, you'll have to wait for another 28 days. Or you really have to show there is a change of circumstance. So please don't rush to make that bail application on your own. Get advice from a lawyer. We know how to make bail applications. You can contact me or contact another lawyer. Again, I keep telling you, go and get married if you have a partner, because you cannot tell the Home Office you have a partner, you're not married, you don't have evidence of living together. They're not going to believe you. So please, of course, they are arresting some people who go to get married, because under the new changes, if you have no visa and you go to the registrar, they will contact the Home Office to let them know of your intentions. And in 16 days, the Home Office will get back to them, giving them a green light for you to go ahead and get married. The law says you don't need a visa to get married. So get a lawyer, prepare some paperwork, have evidence of living together before you go to the registrar. That way, they're likely to believe that, you know, you're in a genuine relationship and definitely are really living together. But don't stay there. When you're in a relationship, you haven't lived together for 2 years, and then you don't make the application when actually you can get married, make your application. Thank you so much for those who have contacted me. There is my number and my email. You can always contact me. We talk about immigration, and I'll be back again. Happy New Year.
We've come to an end of our program today. We'd like to thank you all for the support and love you've always been showing us. Please give us a call on the number below. Visit our website. Our email address is also there as well. And hoping you will join us again next week. Apoyo matek, webale nyo, and have a blessed week. Bye.
Chakula Afya Kituyo, kuacha mocha duka yako kwa ajili ya ufumbuzi yako yote ya afya, kwa sababu wote wako marumu afya mahitaji, shinikizo la damu, high cholesterol, kupoteza uzito, ugonjwa wa kisukari na kwa erection. Sisi ndio wenye nguvu Blue Express na Nyekundu Express Capsule. Uhakika yapatia kila mwanaume muda kudumu election na moja saa ya kutumia product yetu. Kapiso hizi kuongeza furaha ya kijinjisha kwa wewe na mpenzi wako, kutoa roko ngumu erection, lerif kutoka kumwaga mapema. Wito sasa kwa utaratibu 0203899287 au 0793055740. Sisi tuko katika 11 Warren Street, London, W1T 5LG.